Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and in today's video, we're going to discuss what may very possibly trigger the next massive run in Bitcoin and all of crypto. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon for notifications. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Instagram and TradingView. One word, Crypto Bull God. Just a quick disclosure that none of what I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply looking to educate and to help others through chart knowledge and technical analysis. We're all big boys and big girls, so we can make our own personal financial decisions. With that being said, let's get into it. This is Bitcoin on the 3-day chart. What is the green line, you ask? The 125 simple moving average on the 3-day chart. How did I come up with that? Well, as you're aware, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, I attempt to take unique views at the market. Try to find something that someone else is not looking at for my own personal gain, as well as to share with you if you're subscribed here. Now, the way I derive this moving average is actually pretty straightforward. I took two common moving averages, the 250, averaged them together, and it's a 125 simple moving average, okay? Now, once I had that moving average, I went through various time frames, standard time frames that chartists look at, to see if there's any price confluence based on that 125 simple moving average. And I was fortunate enough to find this chart. There have been 3 times in history that once candle bodies have closed below our green line, once we submerge back above it with a candle body close, we have massive runs in Bitcoin. This has happened 3 times, and all 3 times we've had a massive surge in price. Now, what I'm showing here, the 94x, the 2.5x, and the 8.1x, that is measured at the time once a candle body has closed above the moving average. What was the moving average value? And then what was our all-time high before we started correcting? Okay, so that's how I'm measuring this. Back in 2015, you can see that at the time our candle body closed above our green line, from what the measuring was on that green line, all the way up into our all-time high, we did a 94x. 2019, I was here for this. From the moving average at the time the candle body had closed above it, we did a 2.5x to the all-time high. And in 2020, many of you were here for this one. Once our candle body closed above that green line, the 125 simple moving average, from that point at the 125 simple moving average all the way up to our all-time high, we did an 8.1x. So what am I showing here with the number 4 and the 5.3x? Well, what I'm saying is a 94x from the time we cross above our 125 simple moving average, which right now is at 25,500. That is the number. 25,500, that's what is drawn here with this horizontal dotted gray line. A 94x is unreasonable. Okay, it's unrealistic. We're not going to do a 94x. But what if we looked at the prior 2 times, the 2.5x and the 8.1x, we averaged them together and we said, you know what? If we do what we have done in the past, okay, if we're 4 for 4 now, and we continue to see exponential rise in price once we get a candle body close above it, let's assume that the price is somewhere around 25,500 once we cross, which is the current moving average value. And let's just take an average of something between 2.5 and 8.1. That would be a 5.3x. And that would put us at approximately $135,000. So there are 2 important things to take away from this chart. Number 1 is that in 3 times in the past, we're batting 3 for 3. We're batting 100%. Every time we've gotten a candle body close back above the 125 simple moving average on the 3-day chart, it has triggered a massive run in Bitcoin and all of crypto. And point number 2 is, if we hypothesize it's reasonable to get a rate of return that's similar to what we've seen the prior 2 times, somewhere in the middle, it puts us at $135,000. Now, the last question we need to ask ourselves, is $135,000 reasonable? Now for that, let's go to one more chart. This is Bitcoin on a 2-weekly time frame. And if you've been here for a while, you know I've gone into great detail about how I believe we've been in the midst of an expanded flat correction within a broader Elliott wave structure, and we're still waiting for that fifth wave to come in. I am part of the minority that believes we're actually going to see new all-time highs in the entire market this year, 2023. Now, the question is, if we're using Elliott wave principles, where could we hypothesize that Bitcoin could top at? Very, very common to look at this 1.618 fib extension. Very common. That's $114,000. However, it's very common for markets to overshoot. Very common for crypto in particular to overshoot once mass exuberance comes into the market. So if we hypothesize that we could actually hit something a little north of 1.618, say between 2.618 and 1.618, right in the middle, that puts us at $145,000. We go back to this chart. Remember, taking the average of these two multipliers here puts us at a 5.3x, puts us at around $135,000. So it's very reasonable. I love price confluence. We have two price targets here, right around 145, right around 135. Again, nobody's going to know the exact top. No one's going to know the exact bottom in markets. But what we can do is we can use education and chart knowledge to hypothesize various targets. And the more we can get price confluence between these various charts, it adds greater statistical, hesitate to say statistical, but it adds greater confidence that what we're coming up with is reasonable. If you appreciated the content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live and when I produce more TA videos. Spread this video to at least one other person if you value the technical analysis. And until next time, spread awareness and let's carry the education forward.
So what you gonna do, fiat dollar, or crypto bull god and his crypto maniacs and the entire cryptocurrency market run wild?